The late afternoon sun cast long shadows across Riverside Park as 41-year-old Marcus Wellington sat alone on a bench overlooking the playground, absently stirring his coffee while reviewing quarterly reports on his tablet. His expensive charcoal suit and designer watch reflected his position as CEO of Wellington Financial, but the hollow expression in his dark eyes revealed a man who had achieved everything he thought he wanted, only to discover it left him feeling empty and disconnected from any meaningful purpose. Marcus had been coming to this park for weeks, drawn by something he could not quite identify. Perhaps it was the sound of children playing, or the sight of families spending time together. Experiences that reminded him of a life he had never quite managed to build despite his professional success. His recent breakup with his longtime girlfriend had ended with her tearful accusation that he cared more about stock portfolios than human relationships, and Marcus was beginning to suspect she might have been right. As Marcus scrolled through financial projections, he became aware of a small figure approaching his bench. A little girl who appeared to be about 5 years old was walking toward him with the determined stride of someone on an important mission. She had brown hair pulled into pigtails and was wearing a simple purple dress with white sneakers that had seen considerable use. "Excuse me, sir," the little girl said with remarkable politeness for someone her age. "I am sorry to bother you, but I was wondering if you are waiting for someone." Marcus looked up from his tablet, surprised by both the question and the serious expression on the child's face. "No, I am not waiting for anyone. Why do you ask?" "Because you look really lonely," she replied with the honest directness that only children possess. "And lonely people sometimes need friends, even if they do not know it yet." Marcus found himself both amused and touched by her observation. "What is your name, sweetheart?" "I am Lily," she announced with obvious pride. "Lily Grace Morrison. I am 5¾ years old, and I go to kindergarten at Lincoln Elementary School." "It is nice to meet you, Lily," Marcus said, setting aside his tablet to give her his full attention. "I am Marcus. What brings you to the park today?" Lily's cheerful expression grew more subdued as she explained her situation. "My daddy brings me here every day after school while he looks for work. He sits over there on that other bench and fills out job applications on his phone. He has been doing that for a really long time." Marcus glanced in the direction Lily indicated and saw a man in his 30s wearing clean but worn clothing, hunched over a smartphone with the focused intensity of someone whose livelihood depended on the responses he might receive. "That must be difficult for both of you," Marcus said gently. "Daddy tries not to let me see when he gets sad about it." Lily continued with the perceptive wisdom that some children develop when they witness adult struggles. "But sometimes I can tell he is worried about paying for our apartment and buying groceries. He always says we are going to be okay, though." Marcus felt his chest tighten with sympathy for this articulate little girl who was clearly more aware of her family's challenges than her father probably realized. "Your daddy sounds like he loves you very much," Marcus observed. "He is the best daddy in the whole world," Lily agreed emphatically. "He reads me stories every night, even when he is tired from looking for jobs all day. And he always makes sure I have everything I need for school, even if he has to skip eating lunch sometimes." The casual mention of her father's sacrifice hit Marcus with unexpected force. Here was a parent making difficult choices to ensure his child's well-being, while Marcus spent more on a single business lunch than this family probably had for groceries. "Lily, what kind of work does your daddy do?" Marcus asked, an idea beginning to form in his mind. "He used to work at a big company doing something with computers and numbers," Lily explained. "But the company closed down, and now he is trying to find a new place that needs someone who is really good with computers and numbers." Marcus was struck by Lily's description, which sounded like her father might have experience in financial analysis or information technology, areas where Marcus's company was always seeking qualified candidates. "Would your daddy mind if I talk to him?" Marcus asked carefully. "I work for a company that sometimes needs people who are good with computers and numbers." Lily's face brightened with hope and excitement. "Really? You think you might have a job for my daddy?" "I cannot make any promises," Marcus said honestly, "but I would like to meet him and learn more about his experience." Lily took Marcus's hand with the trusting enthusiasm of a child who believed that good things were possible when adults decided to help each other. "Come on. I will introduce you." 5 minutes later, Marcus found himself sitting on a bench with David Morrison, a former financial analyst who had been unemployed for 8 months after his previous company downsized. David was articulate, well-educated, and possessed exactly the kind of experience that Wellington Financial valued. But his long period of unemployment had made it increasingly difficult to get interviews with prospective employers. "I appreciate your interest, Mr. Wellington," David said after they had discussed his background and qualifications. "But I have to ask, how did you happen to approach me about employment opportunities?" Marcus smiled, looking at Lily, who was playing nearby but keeping a watchful eye on their conversation. "Your daughter is quite remarkable. She noticed that I looked lonely and decided to help me feel less isolated. In the process, she mentioned your situation, and I realized that I might be able to help both of you." "Lily has always been good at seeing what people need," David replied with obvious pride. "Even in our current circumstances, she worries more about others than about herself." 2 weeks later, as Marcus watched David settle into his new position as a senior financial analyst at Wellington Financial, he reflected on how a 5-year-old's compassion had led to one of the most satisfying business decisions of his career. David had proven to be an exceptional employee whose experience and work ethic quickly made him valuable to the company. More importantly, his gratitude and dedication had reminded Marcus why building a business could be meaningful when it created opportunities for people who truly needed them. Lily had become a regular visitor to the office, charming everyone from senior executives to security guards with her bright personality and thoughtful questions about what different people did in their jobs. Her presence had transformed the office culture, reminding everyone that work was ultimately about supporting families and building communities. 6 months after their first meeting, Marcus realized that his feelings of emptiness and disconnection had been replaced by a sense of purpose he had never experienced before. He had restructured his company's hiring practices to actively seek out talented individuals who had faced employment challenges, and had established mentorship programs to help new employees succeed. "Why did you really help us?" David asked one evening as they watched Lily play with other children in the same park where they had first met. Marcus thought about the question, remembering the hollow feeling that had driven him to sit alone on park benches while missing the life that was happening around him. "Because your daughter taught me something I had forgotten," Marcus replied. "She showed me that success is not about accumulating wealth or achieving status. It is about using whatever resources we have to create connections and opportunities that make life better for everyone involved." Marcus had learned that the most important business insights often come not from market analysis or strategic planning, but from children who see the world with clear eyes and hearts open to helping others. And Lily had discovered that her instinct about lonely people was correct. Sometimes they just needed someone brave enough to reach out and remind them that connection and kindness were always possible, even in the most unexpected circumstances.